Today we have before us one of those gadgets that at first glance look like they've come straight out of a science fiction movie. But we're talking about something you can actually wear today, connect to a compatible phone, computer, or gaming console, and within seconds, turn your field of vision into a massive personal screen. This is the RayNeo Air 4 Pro. Essentially, it's an extremely advanced wearable display, a screen you wear like glasses, and that very simplicity is also their greatest strength. Just think about it for a moment. You have before you a pair of glasses that externally doesn't differ dramatically from a modern pair of sunglasses. You put them on your face, connect a USB-C cable, and suddenly, where you previously just saw the room around you, a massive virtual screen equivalent to about 201 inches appears before your eyes. And this is where things get really interesting. At the heart of the RayNeo Air 4 Pro are two tiny 0.6-inch micro-O LED displays, one for each eye, with 1080p resolution. Micro-O LED technology has a huge advantage in a device like this because the pixels are extremely small and the screen is literally just a few centimeters from our eyes. We can have a large perceived image without needing to carry an actual massive TV around with us. And here comes one of the features that makes the Air 4 Pro stand out. RayNeo presents the Air 4 Pro as the first AR wearable display with HDR10, offering 10-bit color and very high dynamic range. On paper, the display can reach 1,200 nits of brightness with very high contrast, wide color gamut, and color accuracy. In simple terms, we're not just talking about a big image. We're talking about an image that tries to get closer to the experience of a modern high-quality TV. Dark scenes can have deeper blacks, bright highlights, greater intensity, and colors can be richer and more vibrant. And when you watch a movie through these glasses, there's something particularly impressive: the feeling that you've created a personal cinema that literally fits in your pocket. Of course, image quality doesn't depend only on resolution. Another very important feature is the refresh rate. The Air 4 Pro can reach 120 Hz, which is especially important not just for gaming, but also for the overall sense of motion. When the camera moves in a game, when you're scrolling through a page, or when you're watching fast-paced scenes, the image can appear smoother and more responsive. Imagine you're on a trip, in a hotel, or even in a small room. You don't have space for a TV, you don't have a monitor with you, but you do have a Steam Deck, a compatible laptop, or a device that can send video via USB-C DisplayPort. They take a screen that would normally be tethered to a desk or a wall and make it portable. And that completely changes the way we perceive the concept of a personal screen. But there's also a point we need to pay special attention to. The RayNeo Air 4 Pro don't have a built-in battery, so they're not a standalone headset that you charge in the morning and wear all day without any other device. To work, they need a video and power source. If you have a smartphone with USB-C and DisplayPort alt mode support, the process can be extremely simple. You connect the cable and depending on the device, the image is transmitted directly to the glasses. But be careful on this point. It's not enough for your phone to simply have a USB-C port. That specific USB-C port needs to support video output, not just charging. And now let's talk about something that's often underestimated in wearable displays. Because what's the point of a massive cinematic image if the sound is flat and weak? RayNeo has equipped the Air 4 Pro with a 4-speaker system and spatial audio, while also partnering with Bang & Olufsen on the audio experience. There are also features like surround and whisper mode, aimed at making the sound either more immersive or more discreet depending on the environment. However, as impressive as the technology is, there are also some compromises. First of all, the weight. The Air 4 Pro weighs about 76 grams. For a device that includes two micro-O LED displays, an optical system, electronics, image processing, and 4 speakers inside a body that looks like glasses, the weight is quite impressive. But 76 grams is still more than a regular pair of glasses, and that means fit on the face plays a huge role. RayNeo uses different nose pads and ergonomic design to adapt to different faces. Another feature worth mentioning is the ability to choose different image profiles. There are different color modes, such as standard, game, movie, eye protection, professional, and vision boost, while brightness and volume can be adjusted from the glasses controls. This means you don't have to treat the image as something fixed. You can adapt it depending on what you're doing. One profile for movies, another for games, another for work, and another when you're in a very bright environment. The big picture: HDR, 120 Hz, spatial audio, portability, the ability to connect to phones, computers, and gaming devices. All of it serves one core core idea: to have a massive personal screen wherever you are. And perhaps that's ultimately the greatest value of the RayNeo Air 4 Pro. They are not a gadget you buy just because you want to try something strange and new. They're a tool that can genuinely change the way you consume content. And that brings us to the most important question: are they worth it? For movies, an extremely interesting option. For gaming, even more interesting, especially thanks to the 120 Hz. For travel, this is where they truly make sense. For use with a laptop, they can function as a very unique portable monitor. For daily use with a smartphone, it depends entirely on whether your phone supports the required video output and on the ecosystem you're using. For the first time, a massive screen ceases to be an object. It becomes a personal space, a space you take with you, and every time you connect the cable, put on the glasses, and see the image appear before you, you realize that this technology isn't just trying to make the screen bigger, it's trying to make it invisible, because the real screen is no longer on the desk, it's not on the wall, it's not in your hands, it's right there in front of your eyes, and that is the RayNeo Air 4 Pro.